location?
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency line.
How long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
It took a lot of courage of this woman to dial 911 and pretend to order pizza because she felt that her life is in danger and she needed out. Sometimes it's not safe to speak, and that may be the only opportunity you may ever get to ever speak. This call was a prime example of someone in the system actually hearing her and effectively handle the call. There are many more women out there who need help but have not yet found the courage to come forward due to the fear of being let down by the system and their integrity being destroyed. No better time than the present to start actively listening and paying close attention to our surrounding. Our community has zero tolerance policy for any forms of violence against women. Violence against women is still a serious, pervasive, and systematic issue, an unfinished business that requires urgent action. Violence against women is the most shameful human right violations. It knows no boundaries of geography, culture, or love. As long as it continues, we cannot claim to be making real progress towards equality, development, and peace. We are here because violence against women remains a major issue. Terms such as domestic violence leaves the impression that violence against women is a household problem and not one people should interfere with. Every one of us is responsible for stopping it. In one of the most recent social media called #MeToo, saw many courageous women sharing their stories and shedding lights on these issues of sexual harassment and violence. It calls for reflection on the social and institutional structures that promote these acts. Too many continuous sexist beliefs and attitudes that dehumanize women and point them as weak and inferior. Violence against women happens every day in our community, at work, at home, and in our neighborhood. The devastating truth is that most of these incidents are not getting reported to the police. Process of building up the courage to report a sexual offense and violence can be terrifying. To be met with disbelief, it's a tragedy. How do we build people's confidence to come forward? How can we encourage our survivors, knowing that they may be made to feel disbelieved? It's important that survivors know if they come forward, they get treated with respect and dignity. This momentum is coming directly from our survivors and from our community. Unfortunately, I don't feel this is going to change. And in fact, it will continue on. It's understandable that women have a difficult time coming forward for a number of reasons. Fear of losing their careers, fear for their safety, fear because of users their partner, and fear of their integrity being destroyed. Specifically, there are groups of women that are statistically more at risk. They include trans women, sex workers, women of color, women with physical or emotional or mental disability, and indigenous women. These women deserve our recognition about how difficult it is and our compassion for what they've been through. Instead of focusing so much on why victims don't report, it would be far more productive to ask why do we allow men to continue to sexually harass, rape, murder, and assault women? Let's focus on how we can better support our survivors and victims in their quest for justice and healing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Lynette. She is Josie Glenn's sister. And she's going to be accompanying me up here. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you for being here, Lynette. Let's focus on how we can better support our survivors and victims in their quest for justice and healing. I think I've already repeated that twice. An effective legal system to violence against women requires coordination by the parties in the criminal justice system. The Criminal Code and Canada Evidence Act provides protection for victims and sanctions for offenders. These laws exist to ensure the chargers proceed in court, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we depend on police, since they are usually the first step in the legal process. The poor treatment of victims undermines public's confidence in police and discourages others from coming forward. Transparency and accountability can improve those practices. Can I have you guys, Penny, ladies, please come on up here and bring the photos a little bit closer. And do you mind actually holding it up? Hold it. Can everybody see these photos? Can you spread it out, ladies, please? Thank you so much. Why don't we just... These photos that you see here are someone's daughter. They're someone's sister, or they're someone's mother, who sadly have been murdered or are still missing. The impact of losing someone you love taken from you by senseless crime is devastating. And no words can describe how heartbreaking it is for their families. Josie Glenn, who was murdered October of 2017. She was a friend of mine. And this young lady's sister right here. Who was murdered because of a senseless crime and an ineffective justice system. We want our young women, our daughters, our sisters to feel proud and strong, to walk with their head held high. We tell them they can do whatever they set their minds to. We send them off to universities and colleges, and we let them know that they're safe and that they can protect themselves, and that we will do anything in our power to protect them from harm. So let's live by those morals and values. This message is to any woman or girl out here or out there who has ever been assaulted. We as a community have got your back. You will never be alone. Because we will never ignore these issues in our community. Because it will not be tolerated.
Thank you, Roya, for your powerful words as always. And thank you to Josie's family.